everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Tamika. This is Library of Tomes, where I talk to you about all the bookish things going on in my life. Hi, welcome back to another day in October. Can it be over already? I want October to be over. Hi, today I'm doing another collab video because what would October be without another collab? Because honestly, it's the month of collabs. That's all I got. Today I'm doing a collab with one of my dearest friends on BookTube, and that is Jenn from the book Refuge. Are we surprised? Me and Jenn literally talk all the time. I think I'm talking to her at least a couple times a week. When I decided I was gonna do a bunch of collabs, I reached out to Jenn and I was like, hello, my dear lovely friend. Do you wanna do your favorite Taboo books with me? Because that's what I'd like to do. And she said yes. So let's do it, and today I'm going over my favorite Taboo books. If you didn't know, me and Jenn host the Taboo Book Club, which is all about reading the taboo, the weird, the dark books and their romances, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. So I'm gonna hop on in. Don't forget to check out Jenn's channel. It will be linked in my description, as well as her video. So let's hop on in. I'm gonna share 5 of my favorite Taboo books. I tried not to overlap too much, but it's kind of hard not to overlap when these are my favorites, and I've already recommended a lot of my favorites. So yeah, let's do this. So the first book that I want to recommend for you is Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. This is a age gap romance between a girl whose name is Jordan and her boyfriend's dad. So they have a 19-year age gap. They are very cute together. So essentially what happens is Jordan's boyfriend is a piece of shit. Just putting it out there. He's a piece of garbage, and he is honestly not good to her in any sense of the word. He cheats on her, he is mean to her, he is just absolutely horrible to her, and Our Lady Jordan's just putting up with it. He ends up getting them kicked out of their apartment because he throws this raging party, and they end up having to move in with Pike, who is her boyfriend's dad. And Jordan and Pike, this is such a slow burn story, by the way. This is huge, and they do not get together until 70% into the book, and they are just so cute. They're fighting their sexual tension. They are fighting their want to be together. They are just fighting everything, trying not to be together. And it is so cute. It is so cute to watch them. And I was just screaming because I wanted them to do anything. And I was already halfway through, and I was like, they've not even touched each other. I don't understand. What am I doing here? So this one is really fun. And I do say specifically, this is very, very tame considering some of the things I'm about to talk about in these other books. So if you're looking for a very, very tame touch into Taboo, which is what I would call this, try out this age gap. This is honestly one of the more tame books that I will recommend you for the dark and taboo things that I read, and I really loved it. So please go check this out if you haven't already. I know that Penelope Douglas is very, very popular, and Birthday Girl in particular is popular, so check this out. It's really good. Please. Next up, we have one that no one should be shocked about. We have The Black Fox by Brianna Hale. I specifically picked this book by Brianna Hale instead of listing her entire backlist just because I wanted to pick one that I felt was one of my favorites but also was very taboo. So when I picked this, I decided to pick The Black Fox because this follows a stepdaughter-stepfather relationship. This is taboo for several reasons. 1, stepdaughter-stepfather relationship. 2, there is cheating in this, but I was okay with the cheating. 3, this is daddy kink, so if you don't like that, then you won't enjoy the story. And that is essentially what I'll say, because this is a novella. I will tell you the very gist of this. This is a Zorro retelling. This one is about this man who is a black fox who goes around and he kills people who are deserving to be killed, and he hangs up his hat and his sword so that he can marry and have a life, essentially. He is destined to hurt the person he loves, so he marries someone who he doesn't love, and then he ends up falling for Lolita, who is our heroine, and their relationship is just so steamy. So freaking steamy, and it is wonderful, might I add. The steamy scenes in this are amazing, and I absolutely adore this formatting. I'm going to show it to you. Look at those pages. beautiful. I really recommend this one. Please read this, actually. Just like, please go read this. Just read Brianna Hill in general, but like, if you want my favorite Taboo book by her, it's The Black Fox. Next up, we have one that I do talk about, not a ton, but enough, and that is Katie Robert. That is Desperate Measures. This one is why I wanted to like recommend Katie Robert, because this is a dubious consent. No, it's consensual, no consent. So in the story, Jasmine likes to tell Jafar no when they are having sex, and she specifically does not use or specifically has a safe word and everything, and he reminds her of her safe word. I really loved this one, and I think this is probably not the start for consensual non-consent. If you've never read it, just be warned, this is consensual non-consent. There are scenes in here where she is actively telling him no and he is doing it anyway, but her safe word is not no. Her safe word is something completely different. So yeah, I just want to warn you, that is in here if that is not something you're comfortable with. But I love this. This is also Daddy Kink, and I recommend it. This is a retelling of Jasmine and Jafar, obviously. I think I said that like four times. But I love this. Please check it out. So next up, I want to talk about Mr. Kane, the Mr. Kane trilogy. I'm going to include the entire trilogy in this blanket statement because the trilogy does get an HEA, but the first book does not. So I try to steer clear of recommending those, but I did really, really like this one. So this one is Candy and Kane. Kane is Candy's dad's best friend, and that is the taboo part of that one. It is a dad's best friend romance. Candy has had a crush on Kane for like ever, and eventually they form a relationship, and I don't want to say anything else other than that because this one is just like a wild ride, and I'm afraid if I tell you too much, I'm gonna spoil the entire series because I read the entire series in like one go. It's really fun. It's really interesting. The sex in this is off the charts, so good. Please check this out. Really, really good. The last book that I want to talk about is Whispers in the Dark, and this book is something else. This is our Taboo book club for October. I'm not going to go into too many details just because I don't want to spoil our discussion for October, but I will say this book has some trigger warnings, and I recommend, I'm going to try to tell them to you as fast as possible because my camera is dying and I want you to know what they are, but I'm going to try to tell you. So essentially this follows a girl who was kidnapped, and in that time she was kidnapped, she was raped, she was sodomized, maybe? No, she was raped, she was she experiences a miscarriage, a very intense miscarriage, which is very emotional. Her best friends are killed in front of her. She there is some like skinning alive in this book. There's a lot of murder. There is sodomy to a male. There is sodomy to a woman. There's a lot. This book is a lot, and I want to warn you ahead of time, it's a lot. So eventually she escapes, and then she becomes a serial killer, and it's a relationship between her and her captor's son. I loved this book. I could not look away from this book. It was an absolute train wreck. It was exactly what I wanted and what I needed this October. And I'm gonna leave it at that because it was so good. So those are my favorite books, favorite taboo books. Obviously these are not my all-time, like all of my favorite books, all of my favorite taboo books, because I'm still working on the full list. These are just 5 to kind of get you started on some of my favorites. I do want to read a ton more, which I am reading a ton more because of the Taboo Book Club, but just in general, I'm reading a ton more. So like I said, if you have some favorite taboo books, please link them in the description. Please put them in, not the description, please put them in the comments. I want to read all of them. I might do reading my subscribers' favorite taboo books if you leave enough that I want to read. So please do that. That would be really cool. Anyway, I will chat with you all again maybe tomorrow. I'm really not sure at this point how many videos are left in this month. I don't know. But if you want to be my friend on any other platform, I have all my links in the description. I have Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads all linked down below, and I will talk to you in my next one. Bye, everyone. Rosie.